What's good, fight fans? It's Ashley's Corner. Shout out to the LDBC. Now, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my thoughts about the fight, just my thoughts on the fight itself, and my what I think about the press conference that they had. But I'm gonna start off by talking about why Pacquiao took this fight. I'm glad that they're cleaning up the WBA belts at welterweight. Manny Pacquiao is the regular WBA champion, and Keith Thurman is the Super WBA champion. That's why their belts look pretty much identical. And my first thought is that Manny chose to pass the torch to Thurman and not Earl Spence. I mean, for a couple of reasons, and maybe this isn't a pass the torch moment. And Manny Pacquiao is really looking for a fight. He's looking to see if he can compete with these killers. And as far as all the rest of the people, I mean, the champions at welterweight is concerned, Keith Thurman is easier for the picking in a lot of ways, when you think about it. But you look at the obvious. Danny Garcia was a champion at the time when Keith Thurman beat him and took his belt. Keith Thurman beat Sean. So the only other two champions is Earl Spence and Bud Crawford. And those two are young. They're young, fresh blood. Probably the top two killers at welterweight. So I mean, he's not gonna jump in there with them type of dogs. You know what I'm saying? It's either would be Sean Porter or Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman beat Sean Porter, and honestly, I think Sean Porter would try to dog Manny Garcia out. I mean, I bite him and everything. It just seems like that type of fight for me. So as far as easier for the pickings, Keith Thurman would be that guy. And they both share the WBA, Why not Keith, before Earl Spence or Bud? Which are the harder opponents. It's obvious. I don't think, he plans to fight Earl or Bud ever, honestly. I really don't think that. When he asked if it was possible for a Bud fight, he said it can happen, but only if he's still in the sport. Like Pac said, it can happen as far as a fight with Bud, but Pac, we just have to see if I'm still in the sport. When you make comments like that, that makes me think that you're planning on retiring soon. Probably not the next fight, but soon. You're trying to get the hell up out of here. Um, Manny does strike me as a dog though. Like, and I do believe that Manny Pacquiao is looking for that real challenge before he leaves boxing forever, before he leaves the sport. He want to answer all them call outs. Thurman, I understand, everybody about to wait called out Manny Pacquiao, but Thurman has been doing it the longest. He's been calling out Manny Pacquiao for the longest time out of all the other fighters at welterweight. And he is a champion. He is another belt he can steal. It is, it's something that he can add to his legacy, beating somebody that's undefeated and held in a high regard as Keith Thurman was or still is. If he beats him at 40, that's really saying something. Like, Manny Pacquiao has something to prove in this fight. Now it seems like they both are going to be able to cross his fight off of their bucket list before they leave the sport. Both Pac-Man and Keith Thurman. But for Pac-Man to say that this is going to be his greatest accomplishment is by beating Keith Thurman. He feels that he has changed. He know that age has changed him, has slowed him down or whatever. Or else, why else would he say that it's his greatest accomplishment? The man is a senator. He's done a lot in his career. 8 division world-class champion. Nobody's done that but him. But Keith Thurman is your greatest accomplishment? You got to be saying that because you feel 4-0 on your ass. You feel 40. And Pac was very bothered about Keith Thurman saying that he going to retire him. He's like, God tells me when I'm going to retire, not no man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, he's Pacquiao's always calm and polite, respected and respectable for the most part to his opponents, but I could tell he ain't feeling that, yo. He is not feeling that. Keith, we have honestly, few months ago, even before the Jose Lopez fight, everybody was saying you're done. Like, your career is over and stuff like that. And you're saying that after a horrible display of courage, when you fought Jose Lopez, you think right after that sorry looking fight that you really can threaten Manny Pacquiao's career, even if you do, which I don't see it possible. I mean, I don't see him quitting. Even if you beat Pac to a bloody pulp, it's still his choice whether to retire or not. I don't think Thurman's going to do it. I don't think if he retires, it's his choice. Thurman, I don't think you're going to put that much of a beating on Pacquiao to make him say, I just can't do this shit no more. I just don't see it. Thurman said when he ends Pacquiao's legacy, it will be the start of his. Bruh, how long has Keith Thurman been fighting? How the hell are you going to say that your legacy hasn't started yet? Your legacy is only going to start when you end his career. I don't think I think you're going to end his career. He's going to fight somebody after Keith Thurman, yo. I don't see it, yo. Now, it's very possible that he ends this shit right here, and he does pass the torch like I was saying in the beginning of the video, but I just don't see it. I don't see it being Keith just because he's being that disrespectful, right? Even if he planned for this to be his last fight, it's not going to be. I don't care if he takes a year off. This ain't going to be Manny Pacquiao's last fight, yo. That's how I feel. Guaranteed. And let me get this out the way. I thought this shit was fucking hilarious when he said, I train at LA Fitness all by myself. Bruh. But the reason why you gave us that piece of information, though, the reason why you gave us that information is because you kept saying that you was going to retire Pacquiao. All you heard was crickets in the damn audience. You said this shit again in a very poetic way to get a response, and still nobody said nothing. All you heard was coughing, and you could hear the fucking air shift in the room. Nobody's saying, ooh, nobody's laughing. Nobody thinks nothing. No. And then he said, what, you don't believe me? No, nobody believes you. Nobody at home or in there believes you. Nobody sitting up there believes you. The girl you was sitting beside, yes, she looked like she was irritated by every word. Like she could see the ugliness of the words coming out of your mouth or some shit. She was making faces the whole time. I know when Keith go back and look at this tape, you were fired. You can't sit beside me no more when I'm talking shit. When I'm dropping these interview bars, like you said, shit. He's the most corniest, weakest motherfucker I ever met that's light-skinned with a ponytail. No bullshit. I'm sorry. I ain't never met Keith Thurman, but I met a lot of light-skinned motherfuckers with ponytails, and your ass is by far the worst, yo. And Keith Thurman also said that as a fighter signed the contract to fight him because he thinks they shouldn't have any confidence to fight him. That's how he takes all fights. That's how he feels. If somebody has the confidence to beat him or signs a contract, he feels disrespected. He feels offended. I feel you. In a small way. But at the same time, so how mad are you really when it comes to Earl Spence Jr.? How mad are you really when he dishes you whenever he feels like it? Whenever you around, whenever he gets the notion, whenever he want to jig on your ass, he talks about you, he dishes you to your face and beside you, behind you. It doesn't really matter. He dishes you all the time. And forget signing the contract, you won't sign that bitch. All of this stuff that Earl's been saying and doing to him, bruh. That's why he be looking like that. Because he's really getting mad, but he's breaking the whole time. Like, I'm telling you. Keith Thurman ABS brakes sign is on. Like, that shit, his brake is continue being held all day when he's around Earl Spence Jr. The brake is on. That's why he looking like that. His whole mouth is posturing. He want to say something, but he just can't say it. He can't do it. Pac also said that he likes that Keith Thurman is aggressive and he throws a lot of punches. That's why he wanted this fight. But I mean, you can also say the same thing about Spence and Bud. They can be very aggressive and they do throw a lot of punches. But Keith being the oldest champ at 147, being that he was injured and he had all the time off, blah 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 blah, and how he looked at his last, that's why. Those are all the reasons why Keith Thurman is fitting the bill. Keith, he's not scared of you, all right? Manny Pacquiao is your Huckleberry right now, and you better be fully focused. Don't sit up there and be thinking about Brazil like I dreamed of this moment my whole career type shit and think it's gonna go down like that. It's not. As you keep saying that Pacquiao is predictable, I think he's slow. His hands aren't fast to me, and he can hop around the ring, but his feet's not faster than mine and shit like that. Bruh, if you were on top of your game, you can make Manny Pacquiao look like Mike Garcia when Earl fought him, but I don't think you're that guy. Like, that's why this fight is so close. Like, depending on which one of y'all show up. Matter of fact, let's just say if the same Manny Pacquiao that fought AB got the same Keith Thurman that Jose Lopez got, then Keith Thurman would have got stopped. Like, that's what you got to think about. Pacquiao also said that, because of his job as in the Senate or as a senator in the Philippines, that he can't fight no other time but July, and he could not fight in September. They kept trying to give him a fight in September, and he can't do that because of his prior obligations. So that might have had some type of toll on the Earl Spence fight. But if you knew that you couldn't make the fight, Manny, then when you got in the ring, you should have. It looked like Manny Pacquiao didn't get in the ring and talk to Earl Spence. Manny Pacquiao got in the ring to get a picture with the owner, the owner of Cowboy State. Like, that's what it seems like. But when you were in the ring, Manny, you should have just said that. You should have just said no. But I understand why you didn't say no, because of all the things that people would have thought. So maybe that had some type of impact on him not taking that fight and choosing Thurman. But at the same time, Earl probably would have made that fight in July just because it's you, Pacquiao. And I really don't like Keith Thurman. Did I tell y'all that I don't like Keith Thurman? It's the shit that he says. Everything he says goes in a fucking circle. It's always playtime with him. He's always on a fucking carousel. He's always teacupping it. Get your ass off the teacups. Get off the big wheel. And go with the Joker's jinx. Go with the Superman. Go with a roller coaster. Go with something that gets straight to the damn point, bruh. Like, I'm so tired of him going in a complete circle. Everything he says, or every other thing he says, is a contradiction. Tired of him talking about himself. Keith Thurman running around here being disrespectful, knowing he looked like absolute turnt shit in his last fight, acting like he the best thing to happen to the sport. Sport ain't shit. Boxing ain't shit unless he in the sport. I'm tired of this, the way he acting, the way he talking, bro. Like, he was born to do something else, man. He was born to do something that had to do with his mouth. It had to do with him talking. That's what he was born to do. Because he a professional bullshitter. And this is a close fight, man. It's a very close fight because you don't know if Keith Thurman has fixed those mistakes or not. Because if he hasn't, Pacquiao will make him pay on these mistakes. I will talk about the fight next time I make the video about what I think is going to happen in the fight. But right now, it's a very close fight, close to 50-50 or, 55-45. It's that type of fight right now. Until I can see more, that's when I can say more. But until then, always like and subscribe to the channel. Right now, I got Pac-Man beating Keith Thurman. Peace.